Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome here at Crypto Hash Review, where we educate and disseminate information about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies from a Muslim perspective. And we are continuing on our conversation about objections against Bitcoin or the Bitcoin network from various different scholars and learned individuals. And again, disclaimer, this is meant as no disrespect for the sayers, those who say these objections or repeat these objections. This is just an attempt at an educated discussion about this topic. And we will deal with point number 3, I think it's number 3 or number 2? Number 3, and this is probably one of the most common objections against Bitcoin. And it is that Satoshi is unknown. Who is Satoshi? Satoshi Nakamoto is the founder of the Bitcoin network. Let me say the founder, as in the one who put together the different technologies that already preceded him in a manner which brought together the Bitcoin network. He put forward a white paper, and a white paper just basically means a document outlining how the network should function and work. And eventually he himself, and I think a few others, put together some effort and time to code the details of that white paper, and it was launched in 2009. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto was very much engaged in public forums online, but he wasn't personally known. He never attended any place personally himself that we know of anyway, as Satoshi Nakamoto. And in 2011, he disappeared. He basically announced to everyone in the forums that he's moving on to other things, and he leaves the Bitcoin network in their hands to develop and move forward with it. And he has since disappeared. What is commonly unknown, or by people, sorry, not known, what is commonly people are unaware of, is that although Satoshi put forward white paper and coded the initial program that runs the Bitcoin network, since then, hundreds of other individuals have taken part in updating the code, developing the code, fixing bugs, all that kind of stuff in the network until it has become what it is now. The code is readily available on the GitHub. It's a website called GitHub, whereby the code, you can download it yourself, you can look at the code, you can read the code, you can even take the code, edit the code yourself, change whatever you want in the code, and relaunch your own Bitcoin if you wanted to on your own network after making your edits and so on and so forth. So you can do all of that yourself without anyone interfering in what you're doing. So when we say Satoshi Nakamoto made Bitcoin network, or he made Bitcoin, yes, he did set the ball rolling, but it doesn't mean that the whole Bitcoin network is just him himself. No. Bitcoin network is a collection of individuals, hundreds of individuals from different backgrounds, different countries, different ethnicities, different religions, I'm sure, who put forward their efforts and time to add to the code base and add to the system known as Bitcoin. But assuming that he was the only one who helped or that made the Bitcoin network and launched it, does that mean we should not trust it? Now, that is a valid question if we accept certain assumptions. And those assumptions are that the Bitcoin network is just another network like any other network we've had before. What that means is all previous systems we've had before have pretty much all been centralized, in the sense that someone somewhere has the overall authority to dictate how the system should work and function. And we accept that authority, and we've given that authority to him, and we trust that they are doing this for our best interests. We can't object to the system, we can't change the system, we just accept it as it is. Whereas the Bitcoin network was meant to be a trustless system. It was meant to be a system that I don't need to trust any individual in it. The code is open, how it works is plain and simple to see, and changing it is a simple matter of presenting your ideas, presenting your code to the world, to the network, and having people adopt it on consensus. So the Bitcoin network at the moment, nothing in the network can ever change unless we all agree to change it. So for example, at the moment, Bitcoin will never issue more than 21 million Bitcoins, as in less than that, but 21 million Bitcoins. It will never, ever, ever exist more than that. If for whatever reason we wanted to have 42, as in double it, then we would all have to agree to do so. So if 30% of us, 60% of us, if a small fraction of people wanted to do so and the others didn't, then they can go and do their own network. They can fork off, or what's called break off, and make their own currency if they wanted to, but it won't change the current system of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very rigid in that regards. Change doesn't happen very, very easily because achieving consensus is very difficult. And I guess one may be asking, how do you achieve consensus? This is a very important point. If you remember in our previous videos, we mentioned about nodes. There are individuals across the world who run the Bitcoin network, or not run, who run the program that synchronizes the database of all Bitcoin transactions. People decide to do so. You can do it yourself, you can download the program yourself. And if someone launches an updated version or a new version of the Bitcoin program, it's up to the nodes themselves to upgrade to that system. And if they say, no, I choose not to, then it won't happen. That's how you achieve consensus. If everyone moves to the new system, which is called like a hard fork, the technical term is a hard fork, then and only then is the system updated. And who are these people? Who are these nodes? Everyone, anyone. This is the issue of consensus, ijma'. In Islam, we respect and honor the status of ijma' in Islam, consensus, and this is actually the same kind of thing. We have to have ijma', a consensus that the Bitcoin network behaves a certain way, and if you don't have ijma', if you don't have consensus, then it won't happen. So who Satoshi Nakamoto is, doesn't matter. And on another note, it matters as much as Euclidean geometry matters. So there was a person called Euclid who formed or wrote a book about mathematical geometry, and we accept it and we use it in all our mathematics today. But no one knows who Euclid is, nor does it matter, because what he put forward as ideas in mathematics can be verified by any individual. And that's what makes who Satoshi is irrelevant, because what he presented to the world didn't do so secretly in hidden code that we can't read. He presented it openly in open code, what's called open source, for anyone to read and everyone to read. So if you were ever worried about, oh, maybe there's a secret backdoor, if there was a secret backdoor in Satoshi's code, then we would have seen it, because the code is open and visible for everyone to see and verifiable. So who Satoshi is doesn't matter. And the irony is his anonymity is actually a blessing. Because if there was a particular individual that we know of, was Satoshi Nakamoto, then we could attack Bitcoin from an ideological perspective. We could say, oh look, this guy, Satoshi Nakamoto, he's a criminal, he's a thief, he's a this, he's a that. When he was young, we could attack the Bitcoin network on an ideological level by saying, this is who Satoshi is, this is who the founder is, and blah, blah, blah. But because we have no idea who he is, it's as if he is non-existent. It's as if the Bitcoin network just came out of nowhere, and this is exactly how it is. It's as if the internet itself just gave us Bitcoin, and if you think about it, that's exactly what happened. The internet itself just gave us Bitcoin, and now we have a choice to either use it or don't. And that's the beauty of the final point I want to mention. That's the beauty of Bitcoin, is that you don't have to use the Bitcoin network. It's there for anyone to use it if they wish to. Unlike fiat currency, whereby you are forced to use so by gunpoint. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to contact us for any reason, you can contact us on our details on our website. Please like this video and share with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.